Hey guys, it's us, the Grizzled Geek here. We want to announce another live stream. Last one was a lot of fun. We want to do it again. This time we're going to be doing it on June 9th.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be the anniversary of when we actually started filming RWBY. Mm-hmm. We did it on the 11th last year, but we're getting together on the 9th this year.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, nice to celebrate our 1 year with RWBY. Come celebrate with us. We're going to be starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So, what is that? 12 Eastern? I don't know. 10 a.m. Pacific time.
That's 1 o'clock Eastern.
1 o'clock
3
Eastern?
hours ahead.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
So you want to spend your Saturday morning with us or afternoon, wherever you're at. We'll be on for an hour or so discussing RWBY stuff. You guys can ask us live questions. We'll answer them. Just have our general RWBY discussion and celebrate a year of watching RWBY.
Yeah.
So thanks, guys, and we'll see you then. Welcome to the Grizzled Geek and Review for June 1st, 2018. I'm Mike.
I'm Doug.
And we're here with all your nerd news of the week. It's, I don't know, it's been kind of a strange
It was a strange Memorial Day weekend.
Lots of stuff going on. The big news right now, our top story, is the Penguin might be making his way in the DCFU in one or possibly two different movies.
The second makes more sense.
It does. Yeah. So Justin Kroll over at Variety, who's very well known and he's got a good track record with this kind of stuff, says the villain is being considered for the Matt Reeves Batman movie, which, again, we don't know who's playing Batman in this thing or, when it's actually going to hit, but they're still working on the scripts.
Which script they're going to move.
Yeah, which script they're going to use, but it's being worked on. And in one of those scripts, the Penguin is the villain.
Okay.
So, or could be in both or the new Birds of Prey movie that they're working on, right? Which would make more sense.
I think so, yeah.
It's the Penguin in the Birds of Prey movie.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, they referenced the Penguin in Justice League. I mean, Alfred did.
Yes,
when he was
correct.
saying,
when he says,
Missing days of wind-up penguin, exploding penguins is the worst we had to worry about. Yeah.
Yep.
So he exists in that DCFU universe. Just,
Yes.
I just can't see. Even in, the Batman Returns, he wasn't the only villain. They had Catwoman in there, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, and they've gone away in the comics. They've gone away from Penguin as a main bad guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of an underworld figure that's in the background. He's rarely the main bad guy in a story.
Right.
He's just kind of always there, untouchable, almost like a Kingpin type.
Right.
Type character.
I know in the Gotham series they did kind of like a proto Penguin that was kind of cool, but that series is just weird.
Yeah.
But Kroll does advise to take this with a grain of salt, as both scripts are in flux right now.
Right.
We don't know which script they're going with, and I know, but in a version of the Birds of Prey script, Penguin is a villain, and in a version of the Matt Reeves Batman script, he's a villain.
Why?
So,
there are so many better villains that you can go with for either of those groups.
Yeah, I mean, if they use the Penguin, like in Batman Returns, I mean, I like the idea of having the Penguin in it, but as a secondary villain.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Or at least maybe Penguin with some muscle, like, I already didn't Killer Croc in that world.
Oh,
so
right, yeah.
I really didn't Killer Croc, but, maybe Clayface or something like that. Some kind of muscle.
Who knows?
Some kind of cool CGI muscle. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just my take on it. But apparently Warner Brothers is keen to get the Penguin into the DCFU sooner rather than later. So
Continuing their poor judgment. But all right, cool. All right, let's go over to some box office reports. First off, Solo is set to retain the #1 spot with an estimated $30 million. But after its really disappointing opening weekend,
they were way off the mark on this one.
It just broke $100 million in its first 4 days, and they were way off the mark.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing because it is a really good movie.
It is.
Do we have our review up yet? Should be any time now. I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah.
But we did a review of it. It should be available now or soon or something. But Disney did it to himself.
Uh-huh.
They
Do you think this is because of how close after Infinity War and Deadpool?
It's two things.
Or is it
you only gave us 5 months between Star Wars movies.
Okay.
And you only gave us 2 weeks after Infinity War and 1 week after Deadpool. I think Deadpool is less of a factor because I think the audience that would go see Deadpool and Star Wars would go see it anyways.
Yeah.
But the family audience that would be like, oh, there's a Marvel event or there's a Star Wars event. We just saw Star Wars 5 months ago, but let's go for the Marvel event.
Do you think some of the fallout from Last Jedi has some effect in this? Because I got to tell you,
it could, yeah.
I got to tell you, I know we gave it a positive review when we reviewed it.
Yes.
But I'm really starting to revise my opinion on that movie because I've watched it again.
Oh, see, I have too, and I liked it more the second
really?
time.
You think so?
Yeah.
I just the things that bother me in it really bother me. Especially when I see I like Solo, right? I like some of what they did, the nostalgia stuff they did in Solo. When you see our review, I think Solo's a good movie, and I'm leaning towards. I actually think it's better than The Last Jedi.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
But you know,
Well, something I said in the review, it bears repeating, is the high notes in Return of the Jedi, in Last Jedi are higher than the high notes of Solo.
Yeah.
But Solo doesn't have any of the low notes, which was most of The Last Jedi that The Last Jedi had. So,
true.
anyways, that's where we're at with that.
All right.
But yeah, check out our review for more on that.
What other box office we got here?
Oh, yeah, let's see. We've also got Avengers is going to hit the 2 billion mark this weekend.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
The juggernaut that is the MCU continues on. And we're looking at, we'll see how this is, Jurassic World 2 is tracking for 150 million opening.
Right. All right.
I think this is a popular franchise, and I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to seeing it, but I'll go see it. I like the one before enough. I like Chris Pratt enough that I'm like, okay, I'll go see this.
Yeah,
but I'm not hyped for it.
I don't understand. I mean, I was a big Jurassic Park fan when it first came out, right? And then I kind of got soured on it over the next two sequels.
Yeah.
And then Jurassic World, I thought was okay. I didn't think it was amazing or anything like that, but I like Chris Pratt and I like the movie enough. I don't know. I'm not super excited about Jurassic World 2, but I mean, I'm going to go see it, obviously. 150 million though. They so far this tracking after they were low with Infinity War, right? They were low with Black Panther, low with Infinity War. They overrated Deadpool, and then they way overrated Solo, right? So we don't know where this so far. It's not been the best track record with the tracking on these movies.
No,
but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't see Jurassic World 2 getting 150 mil.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
So how high do you think Avengers will climb? You think it's going to be hit Titanic, Avatar territory, or?
Oh yeah.
Think so?
Well, yeah. Think of how quickly it's gotten to this point.
That's
it
true.
only took it 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Yeah.
4 weeks to get to 2 billion.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Especially when you consider that, much like Avatar and Titanic, it will be re-released next year. Prior to,
I was going to say,
Avengers
if they really want to hammer it home, they'd re-release it before a month before Avengers comes out.
Yeah,
I'm like,
there'll be all kinds of events where you can do the double feature to see them both, which we will definitely do if that happens.
Absolutely.
I mean, yes, it'll be 6 hours in a movie seat, but it'll be worth it. We'll do it for you.
Better than the 10 hours they did leading up to it. That was a crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty crazy, and that'll be, just imagine how salty Cameron will be after that. He doesn't like Avengers now. Wait till that happens.
Yeah.
All right, so moving outside the Marvel and DC universe, there is other comics out there, kids, believe it or not.
Wow.
And one of the big ones is Image Comics, and Spawn is one of their big creation of Todd McFarlane. Now, we've been hearing about a Spawn remake since the last Spawn movie in the 90s. Was it 97? Something there? 90,
yeah, something like that.
Early, mid-90s? I don't know. 90s are a blur for me. That's college years. I don't remember
a
whole lot about those.
Late 90s, we'll say.
Late 90s, yeah. Which was okay for the time. Some of that CGI definitely does not hold up to today's standard.
Yeah.
But it was okay. But now, Blumhouse and Todd McFarlane have teamed up to bring us Spawn, with a modest budget of around $12 million.
Okay.
All right, so this is going to be more of a horror movie, right? In fact, they've even said Spawn is not going to have a lot of speaking lines. They're not doing an origin story. They're not doing all the standard cliche superhero stuff. He's going to be a force of nature. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't told through the eyes of, maybe Sam and Twitch or somebody else, some other character in the universe and Spawn in the background. But,
so if that's the case, why do you make this casting?
that is true. But they just announced they have cast their Spawn, and it is Jamie Foxx. So Academy Award-winning Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. When you have an actor that good, why do you cast him in a role that's not going to do anything?
I think it was more of a thing where Jamie Foxx said he wanted to do this. He's a fan.
Okay.
Right? I think it's more of that situation than it would be.
I could see that.
But you would hope you'd see more of them than just like in the shadows. Because you can cast anybody if you're just keeping them in the shadows. And
never taking off the mask, never saying anything.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited about this. The only thing that gives me a little bit of pause is Todd McFarlane is directing this. Now, Todd McFarlane he's an amazing artist. He's a decent writer for comics.
Yeah.
He's an excellent businessman, but he hasn't directed anything, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
So, I mean...
Nothing animated? Not done anything?
No, he didn't do anything animated.
Okay.
So this is his first directing debut. Now, he knows the character inside and out, and he knows what vision he wants. So, and he's the kind of person that once he sets his mind to something, he's going to see it through.
Right. Yeah.
So, as long as he get, like I said, I think I think you were saying, Collider, if he gets a good DP, he should be okay.
Oh, okay.
Because that'll make all the difference in the world. Someone with
yeah,
experience, the technical,
yeah.
Get a good DP. I don't know. I'm in. I want to see Spawn.
Yeah.
I saw the first one in theaters, so
Yeah.
I will see this one.
All right. Here we go. More flop news here. Is X-Men Dark Phoenix going to be a flop? I think everybody was predicting that when it was announced that was what they were going for. But the plot was leaked after a recent test screening, and fans are not happy. The director is Simon Kinberg, who gave us the wonderful X-Men Last Stand.
Yes.
And basically he said he wanted to make up for X-Men Last Stand.
He wrote Last Stand. This is he's directing this one.
Right. Okay.
So
well, so he said he wants to make up for it, but Dark Phoenix seems to have an awful lot of the same plot beats.
Yeah.
And it's being described as boring. And
that's probably the worst thing you can have for an X-Men movie.
Yeah,
for a superhero movie, boring.
Yeah, so it's been pushed off a year and is undergoing major reshoots this fall. So maybe that will fix some of the problems.
I don't know. I don't. Fox does not have a good track record when it comes to being true to the comics, especially with the X-Men universe. This seems just. I mean, I read the plot synopsis, how the Skrulls play into it, kind of Skrulls. Or what?
Why? Those are not involved in the Dark Phoenix story at all.
It just sounds bad. It's got, I don't know. It just seems like some of the same plot beats. It's got like Jean Grey, only like slightly corrected, like almost killing Professor X again, but not doing it this time. Almost killing Scott, like the whole scene where she takes his glasses off, and kisses him, and then that, but like, without killing him this time. It's like, see, we learned from our mistakes.
We learn from our mistakes. We give you the same boring plot, but not the deaths.
Not the deaths. We learned not to kill these characters off. This seems. Well, if you look at it, the track record for X-Men has been a good one, a bad one, a good one, a bad one, right? So,
or do a good one though. Then
no, if you count Logan.
Oh,
because they had
not if
Apocalypse,
you count Logan. All right,
and then Logan. And now
I wasn't thinking of Logan in that. I was thinking of the standalone X-Men.
Yeah, they keep trying to say, look, this is going to be the good one because the Apocalypse was bad. Well, yeah, you had Logan in between. So
yeah, true enough.
Yeah, and if it's Logan was that high, how low can this one be?
Well, here's how checked out of the X-Men universe I am. I've still not seen Age of Apocalypse.
Oh, really?
I own it.
Really?
I haven't watched it.
I
cannot bring myself to sit down and spend 2 hours to watch through what everybody's told me is just
not
a
good.
slog through a mediocre plot and mediocre acting, and which is a bummer because I really like
Days of Future Past.
I love Days of Future Past,
Yeah.
and I like the actors. They have Michael Fassbender and why can't I think of Professor X's name right now?
Yeah, now I'm drawing blank now too. I'm like, come on, you know who this is? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite Paul Atreides from the Dune miniseries. But anyways,
We should probably write this stuff down.
well, I didn't know I was going to be talking about that. But yeah, I like a lot of the people they've cast for this new X-Men, this like past version of X-Men. So it's a bummer that they're just bungling the stories.
Yeah, McAvoy, by the way.
McAvoy. Yeah,
Yeah,
James McAvoy. There you go.
All right. Well, yeah. So again, this is one person's opinion but I mean, they pretty much leaked the entire plot online, and if it sticks to this plot, it's got some issues, and it's gonna have major reshoots. We don't know how much reshoots, right? Mm-hmm. But both this and New Mutants, because they got pushed off, they're in that same limbo where they got to wait for Game of Thrones filming to end before they get their actresses back.
Oh yeah.
You know, so they're both kind of stuck for waiting on Game of Thrones. But we'll see what's going on with this. This probably is the end of the Fox X-Men universe, one way or the other.
Right.
I don't think. I mean, after this, Fox isn't doing X-Men anymore, so
Yep.
someone else is. We'll see what goes on there. All right, folks. That's it for our main stories. On to our small stories, our nerd nuggets, our geek bites. We have first up, once again, the Crow movie is basically stalls as it loses its director and its lead actor, Jason Momoa. So, Corin Hardy was set to direct, Jason Momoa was set to star, and creative differences, they're both left the project and it's stalled again. This movie has not been made, been threatening to be made almost as long as the Spawn movie.
Right.
You know?
We may have talked about this when we talked about Jason Momoa getting this role. He's not the right fit for this role. He's too big.
He's a little beefy for the Crow role.
Yeah, the Crow should be.
They had a great Crow movie.
Yes,
They've done the Crow. And
they've done
did
it
justice.
exactly how it should be
Yeah.
done. And Jason Lee, right?
Was it Brandon Lee?
Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
Brandon Lee.
Brandon Lee was, he was amazing in it.
And yeah, he had the perfect. He looked exactly like the comics.
Yes.
You've done the perfect Crow movie. Anything.
Just like Heath Ledger in the Joker, right? You don't want to jump back into another Joker, right?
Yep.
Or jump back into another Crow. I mean, it has been since 15, 20 years since the Crow was out. But I mean, it's gonna be hard for us to do that again. Mm-hmm. And as much trouble as this has had trying to get off the ground, I think
Right. Yeah.
maybe we should just move on.
All right. Well, all right. Marvel responds to Sony's Venom movie pronunciation of symbiote in Amazing Spider-Man number 800, where J. Jonah Jameson says "biote," not "biote."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that was
that's
a
funny.
direct ribbing of the
Yeah.
the Sony verse there.
In a little aside, when I was watching the Solo movie with my wife this weekend, there was a kid in the audience when the Venom trailer finished up. He's like, "That looks bad." I was like, "You're right, kid."
You're right, Doug. Got a fan there, Doug. That's someone who believes.
Oh, it
Man.
was awesome.
But we're gonna go see it, folks. We'll tell you when we'll go watch the Venom movie. Doug's super excited about it.
We'll tell you to save your money. All right, let's see.
All right, so set photos from Punisher Season 2 reveal Jigsaw on sadly underwhelming Jigsaw. He's not nearly as scarred as we're used to, which I guess kind of makes sense in the modern day of plastic surgery and everything like that. They can fix quite a bit with your face, and apparently he got some work done because he's only got a few scars on his cheeks a little bit, but he's not all messed up like he is in the comics.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Like, in fact, why do you even call him Jigsaw? It's like, oh, he's got a couple scars on his face.
Yeah, well, and
I mean-
that was when you gave this character that kind of background that he had. It's obvious he had a bunch of money and he could do that kind of stuff. Whereas Jigsaw was like, he was a street level thug that couldn't do that kind of thing. It just had to heal on its own, and that's what you came up with. So
Right, yeah.
yeah. So it's not even really Jigsaw.
Yeah.
But
Their fans, I was a little disappointed, to be honest with you. A little disappointed that he wasn't all messed up like he is in the comics.
Right.
Or that we even got from that Punisher Warzone movie. But especially with how brutal the attack was in the last series. But, and Netflix I trust especially with the Punisher series.
Yeah.
They first season was so amazing. I can't wait for this one. So
cool. All right, and next we've got Orlando Bloom throws his hat in the ring to play Captain Britain. Captain Britain.
Is this something we don't know about? Is there a Captain Britain in the works here with all these?
I don't know.
It's like
who was the first person who wanted to play
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg. So we've gone up the scale a little
bit,
the right direction, but only a little bit.
Well, they're both awful small to be playing Captain Britain.
I guess
I don't know.
They saw Chuck playing Shazam and was like,
who do we got?
We can do that.
They're like looking at what are the UK heroes? Union Jack? Nah, Captain Britain. Captain America's popular. I want to be Captain Britain.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
I liked Captain Britain as part of Excalibur. Mm-hmm. But I don't see him as a solo act for carrying a movie like that. I just don't see it.
I don't see it. We'll see what happens. Because right now Marvel doesn't even have Captain Britain. It's a Fox thing right now until because he was part of Excalibur.
Yep.
The XMen universe. All right. Back over to Netflix. Daredevil Season 3 costume designer Liz Vistola showed off a production jackets that everyone got. Teasing, again, everyone's confirming, this is Bullseye, because it's got the Daredevil Season 3 logo, and behind the D is like the trademark blue and white Bullseye target behind it. So,
nice.
That's pretty much, I don't know whether, I think she's taking that down off her Instagram after that, but I think that pretty much confirms the rumors that Bullseye will be involved in
all right, yeah.
Season 3.
Iconic villain-wise, who else were you going to put?
True. You already have Kingpin in there.
We've kind of got, Kingpin's coming back, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully they're going to keep Elektra in, so...
So the only the third most iconic Daredevil villain is Bullseye.
Yeah.
So after Kingpin and Elektra.
Now, wasn't there rumor that Typhoid Mary was going to be involved?
Yeah, there was rumors that she was involved in Season 2 of Jessica Jones. But it turned out to be her mother. And
all right.
Yeah, not Typhoid Mary.
All right. Well, all right. Fox shareholders will decide whether to sell to Disney or consider Comcast bid July 10th.
It all comes down to the shareholder vote.
Yeah.
Everyone is still saying it's leaning towards Disney at this point.
Yeah. I heard from other sources that Disney is talking to finance people to either add some cash to their offer or shift some of their offer from stock to cash if necessary. So,
Yeah.
I think Disney's still the leading, in the lead here.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's what happens.
The mouse still has a lot of muscle to flex in this whole deal. So,
also heard an interesting aside to this story that I don't know who Comcast CEO is. I don't know the name of the person, but apparently he and Bob Iger hate each other.
Yeah.
So this may just be spite move. Who knows?
That's a play to drive up the price.
It could be. Yeah. Who knows?
Wow. All right. All right, guys. Looks like The Walking Dead may be finally winding down, losing steam. Mm-hmm. I know I haven't watched this last season just because, I cut the cable, so I don't have.
Oh, right.
I'm waiting for it to come out on Netflix. But apparently, we already heard that Laurie Cohen is leaving the show. She's only going to be in a few episodes next season. But it looks like we're also losing Rick himself. Andrew Lincoln will only be in a handful of episodes next season, and we'll see what happens. I mean, if without Rick and without two remaining characters.
Right. Yeah.
And then there was also a major death that happened this season. So spoilers for you guys. They can't go the comic book route. In the comic book, they're kind of phasing out Rick, but they're kind of writing it towards Carl taking over as leader of the group.
All right.
Right? They can't do that now. Now that Carl's gone. So who do they have left? But on the backside of this, Norman Reedus is getting a massive pay bump, presumably to stay, but he's not really the lead of the show. He doesn't. I mean, the character's awesome, but he doesn't say much, right? He's not the leader type,
Right.
right? He's a cool character, but I can't see him taking over after Rick's gone.
Yeah.
Without Rick, I really don't think they have a show. But then again, who knows? It's lasted this long. But it has taken a serious dive in the ratings every year for the last 3 years. So we'll see what happens.
All right. The Boba Fett movie announced that Logan's James Mangold is set to direct.
That is awesome.
And sticking to canon, they should cast someone of Maori descent. So, top fan favorites are original Attack of Clones actor Daniel Logan, who played Jango Fett.
Actually, no, he played the kid. He was the kid that played Boba Fett.
Oh. Why
Tamura Morrison played Jango Fett.
Oh, I see. You kind of broke this up weird. Okay, so Jango Fett, Tamura Morrison, who would be too old, I think.
Yeah, I think
to
he would
take
be
the
too
role.
old.
So Daniel Logan is the kid
He's
who
the kid that
played
played Boba
Boba. So that would be good time wise, I think.
Assuming the kid
It's
is an
he
actor.
stayed in acting
Yeah,
and is any good.
Yeah.
Or Thor Ragnarok's Taika Waititi.
We have a fan pick, a drawing. Actually, as a comic book artist, did a drawing of Taika Waititi. We're going to put it up right here, of Taika as Boba Fett. He looks pretty good, and he's a good actor.
Isn't he a little skinny for that though?
You put him in armor.
That's true.
I mean, Boba Fett's not. I mean, Jeremy Bullock wasn't ever that buff, and he played Boba Fett. Right?
Yeah, true enough. Yeah,
He's got the face because you need the iconic face.
I haven't watched any of the stuff, any of the behind the scenes to hear how Taika Waititi really talks,
Yeah.
but I can't imagine the voice that came out of Korg coming out of Boba,
Yeah.
even with a voice, something, to synthesize his voice. That still sounds weird to me. But I guess
the image looks awesome. I think he'd do a good job as Boba Fett. And like I said, but I want to see Tamura Morrison reprise his role as one of the clones.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Now, that would be cool.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because from the Clone Wars, you got attached to those characters, in the Clone Wars and Rebels. I'd like to see him reprise his role, his role as one of the clones. So
that would be interesting. Yeah.
that would be cool. And he'd be the right age for that. Maybe in a Kenobi movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
cool.
And speaking of Kenobi movie, spoilers here for those of you who have not seen Solo. That they're at a convention last week. I'm going to spoil.
Yeah.
There's a cameo at the end of Solo.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen Solo, you should probably stop watching now.
Yes, don't. Yeah, I'll give you a few minutes to skip ahead. But yeah, spoilers. There's a cameo at the end of Solo. For those of you who've seen the movie, which surprised everybody.
Yeah.
Of
Definitely.
of Darth Maul showing up. At a convention this last weekend, Ray Park, the actor for Darth Maul, told a fan that he suggested, strongly suggested that the Kenobi movie is in fact going to happen, and that he may be involved in it somehow. Yeah. So, they totally set up Solo for a continuation of that storyline.
Oh yeah, and he signed a 3-movie deal.
Yeah.
So we could be getting 2 more Solo.
Could we see a live action version of the iconic showdown from Rebels of Old Man Kenobi and
that would be cool.
Darth Maul?
And apparently, I didn't notice this detail. I wasn't paying attention. The lightsaber that Maul calls him to himself is the one from Rebels.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Which apparently they went back and added a lightsaber in. They're like, they filmed it one time, and then they're like, you know what, we need to have a lightsaber.
And he's totally got his cybernetic legs.
Yes.
I didn't notice that the first time around. Second time around, I was like, oh, cybernetic legs.
Cybernetic
Sweet.
legs.
Everything. Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
That would be cool. All right, end of spoilers. But let's say that would be awesome. So if that happens.
Would be cool. Yep.
All right, folks. That about does it for us this weekend, or this week. We actually a lot of strange stuff going on. I mean, there's no big movies. Next big movie coming out is what, Incredibles?
Yeah, I think Incredibles 2 and then Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. All right.
And I don't know which order those 2 go in. One's in July. Maybe both are in July.
Ant-Man, I see June is going to be Incredibles 2.
Okay.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is in July.
Okay, there you go. So there's your next 2 big movies.
All right. And be sure to pay attention to our next podcast where we're going to talk about the Phoenix Comic Fest that we all attended.
Oh, yeah.
Where we got to meet Barbara Dunkelman of Ruby fame.
Yeah.
And it was pretty fun. So we're going to be talking about that in the next podcast. And somewhere our Solo review is out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Hopefully it gets out soon.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Be sure to like, subscribe, tell your friends, and hit those links below to support the channel.
Yep.
And we'll talk to you later.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.